All right, we got a controversial bill that bans people who are homeless from sleeping in public places.
Oh, okay.
Following Governor Ron DeSantis' signing of a bill that bans unhoused individuals from sleeping overnight in public places, those affected are left grappling with unnecessarity about their future. Under the new law set to take effect in October, counties will have the authority to designate temporary campsite locations equipped with clean water, clean restrooms, security, and they'll have access to mental health and substance abuse treatment. That sounds like a lot for a facility like this.
Well, I mean, it's very costly, and it's one of those forced mandates that a lot of cities aren't going to be able to afford. So
what will they do?
They're going to probably not be able to enforce this law right away. I mean, hopefully the state will come through and finance some of these camps that they're talking about doing, and the caseworkers. I mean, it does no good just to take them to a camp. You got to have the services that come along with it to get them the true help they need. So it's a tough one. It's going to be a tough one. I mean, if you don't have a place to take them, you don't have a place to take them. So right now, I don't know where St. Augustine's going to do that. There's some beds at St. Francis House that are for situations like this, but there's not enough of them.
Yeah.
If they started really enforcing this rule. So.
Yeah, it'll exhaust all of the resources.
So
supporters argue the law will help address the issue of homeless individuals living in public spaces, and opponents express concerns about criminalizing homelessness. Senator Shervin Jones emphasized that safe, stable housing is a human right and called for prioritizing solutions to homelessness rather than punitive measures.
Yeah.
Some business owners welcoming the law, hoping it's going to mitigate disruptions caused by unhoused individuals, as they're now saying, sleeping in nearby establishments. However, some express reservations, noting the impact on the customer experience and businesses. Florida grapples with addressing homelessness. The debate surrounding the new law underscores complexities of the issue and the importance of balancing public safety with compassion and support for our vulnerable populations. Yeah, that's a tough one, man.
Yeah, I mean, if you're coming up with a law like this, you got to follow it up with some financial support to help these cities. If you really want to help, you got to have the solution with it, not just take care of this.
Well, right. To me, this kind of sounds like it's a solution that was built in that is almost meant to be unattainable. I mean, to put up facilities with this kind of help, I mean, restrooms, running water, security alone is expensive as hell. And then mental health and abuse treatment. I mean, I would assume there's some sort of counselor on site at some point. I mean, that's almost impossible to put together. So it's basically just saying, in my eyes, and I'm not coming down on it one way or the other, but in my eyes, it's saying, okay, we're just basically criminalizing homelessness because there's no way to put these measures actually in place. Definitely not by October.
I like the fact that their eyes are open towards the homeless. But criminalizing it is not the way to do it. And the state gave us money for the veteran side. So, I've been in this homeless fight since 2003, so 21 years. Just now have I felt like I made a true impact, like within the last year, where it's like, okay, we got some really good stuff happening.
Right.
We've been talking about it. We've done some good things, and I've gotten some money financially and stabilized some nonprofits. But after 20 years, and I think I'm a pretty creative and guy that can handle a lot of projects. But just now, 20 years later, I feel like I've actually got something accomplished.
Yeah.
And now they're forcing, throw some money behind it, and then I'll back the law a little bit better.
Didn't Jacksonville ban panhandling? Was that a part of this whole view of?
Well, in St. Augustine, we had a law in place, and then it was kind of overturned because of First Amendment rights things. On St. George Street and in the city of St. Augustine, you can have a sign, but you can't ask for money.
Okay.
So that's where the exchange you get in trouble if you actually approach or actively are asking for money, but you can sit there with the sign and you're protected by First Amendment.
Is there still a 20-foot thing? You have to be 20 feet from active businesses?
From a door. You can't sit in front of a doorway. There's some of those type situations. And then for the music side, you got to be 25 feet off of St. George Street. You can't be right on St. George Street.
So
they have little markers on the side streets of, okay, here's where you can start.
Okay.
So
I'm not mad at the performers.
that's where you see the snake guy, and you see the fiddle guy, and the lady who has an amazing voice. She's on Treasury Street a lot. She can belt it, man. So, she does very well down there. I mean,
so were those rules were they beneficial in that situation? Did that help that specific situation?
To me, we need to make the citizens aware that they're not helping by giving money directly to them.
Yeah,
you need to be giving to the St. Francis House, Home Again, Alpha Omega, the ones that can take that money and multiply it by 20 times. And because they're going to stay on that street as long as people are still giving them those handouts. And some of these guys are making, $80 to $100 a day.
That's what I'm saying. I know. More than that. Yeah.
A lot more than that.
No, they don't stay that long. They'll get up and go, but once they meet a certain number. And then there's guys that they work together, kind of like the group that's in the plaza. Those guys will work together and kind of collectively bring their money together too. So, it's not an easy
How do you do
fix.
that education piece then? That you're right.
Well, I mean, it's
because if you tell somebody on the street, they're going to be offended. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what are you coming at me for? But I'm just like, I want to tell you.
Here's the thing, and people are like, "Oh, kids today, they're so horrible and stuff like that." Guess who the number one giver is to those guys? They'll give their field trip money or whatever they have for snacks to that homeless person. So don't tell me kids today are awful. No, they got a good heart. We're the ones that screw them up.
Wow.
So.
Not me.
So all of us do as a society. So you're living in this society too. If there's a component that we could have, even with a QR code, if you want to give here. If you really want to make the campaign I wanted to do is save your change, make a change.
I remember this,
and I'm still trying to work on that.
It's a great idea.
Where
didn't Charleston do this too?
Yeah. I stole it from Charleston.
It's a great idea.
So, and we need to do that. I mean, without that, they're going to still be laying there on the street, and it takes money to do what they're trying to do. So, I don't know. I understand the law because of the business side of me. Gets it.
Right.
But, don't give a solution behind it. Don't just slam down the law and say, okay, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
Not have the solution.
I agree there.
Yeah. Yeah. Putting together a campsite with all of these almost amenities at them. I don't, amenities sounds a little too fancy, but even just restrooms and water and all that stuff seems like a big feat to actually pull off.
Well, I mean, the biggest things in, our United Service Center that we're doing on 16 is showers, a place to do laundry, and a place to accept mail.
Okay.
Because a lot of people don't realize,
right.
Some of these people are getting, government checks and stuff like that, because of their disability. And they don't even have a mailbox.
Yeah.
So.
True.